never stop reading the Bible. Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into one of the most incredible moments in the book of Ezekiel. We're going to see a massive shift from total, absolute judgment to a brand new vision of hope and restoration. So, let's jump right in. These two chapters are right next to each other, but honestly, they feel like they're from two completely different worlds. We're about to see the story pivot from the end of judgment to the very first glimmer of restoration. But first things first, before we can get to the new beginning, we have to see the old story come to its dramatic conclusion. And chapter 39 gives us exactly that, a really vivid final picture of the epic battle against this enemy figure known as Gog. What's so interesting here is that this isn't just some dry battle report. Chapter 39 is actually written as a prophetic song. It's almost like a poem that details the complete and utter devastation of God's enemies. And by putting it in this form, it makes the message incredibly powerful and, really hard to forget. So the chapter really unfolds in three clear parts. It kicks off with that song of destruction, then it pans out to show you the grim, terrible scene after the battle is over. But, and this is key, it doesn't end in despair. It actually concludes with this amazing promise of blessing for Israel. It takes you on a whole journey, from judgment all the way to hope. And that final note of promise, well, that's our bridge. It's what carries us right out of the end of judgment and into something brand new, a revelation of God's glory and a new beginning. Okay, this slide is so important. This is the turning point, not just for these chapters, but for the entire book of Ezekiel. Chapter 39 slams the doors shut on judgment. It's over, it's complete. And then, bam, chapter 40 swings open a brand new door to the beginning of restoration. It's a night and day difference. And to really get why this moment is such a big deal, it helps to kind of zoom out and look at the whole book. After all those chapters on destruction and then the ones promising restoration, we are now entering the final glorious section that starts right here with chapter 40, the vision of what this new, holy life is actually supposed to look like. So what does this new life look like? You might expect a vision of a new king or a new army, right? But that's not what Ezekiel sees. His vision starts with a building, a magnificent, incredibly detailed new temple. So you can think of chapter 40 as the grand opening, the prelude to the final act of the entire book. Everything that's happened so far, all the warnings, the judgment, the promises, it's all been leading up to this moment, this incredible vision. The chapter just unpacks with all this amazing architectural detail. First, we see Ezekiel get this vision. Then it's like he's taking on a guided tour of this new temple, starting with the outer court and moving deeper and deeper inside, towards the most holy spaces. And every little measurement, every gate, is described with unbelievable precision. Okay, so you're probably wondering, why all this focus on buildings and measurements? What's the real message behind this divine blueprint? Well, this is where we get to the absolute heart of it all. And here's the core idea. For Ezekiel, the nation of Israel could not be truly restored until its relationship with God was restored first. And the temple, well, that was the physical symbol of that relationship. It was the place where heaven and earth met. So if you're going to rebuild the nation, you have to start by rebuilding the house of God. And ultimately, this entire massive, detailed vision boils down to this one powerful truth. The real blessing wasn't just about getting the land back. It was about returning to a God-centered life, putting worship and holiness right back at the very center of everything. And so as we wrap up, this vision from thousands of years ago leaves us with a really personal question to chew on. When we think about restoration in our own lives, rebuilding things that are broken, what are we putting at the center? What's the foundation that we're building everything else on?
This explainer was produced by the Center Studio. Thanks so much for joining us.